Hello, my dear friends. Today we're talking about homemaking, being a homemaker, being a mother, being a wife, and owning it. Owning it. So today we're talking about owning it. And that means really buckling down and being that homemaker. Making sure that that house is clean, that those dishes are clean and put away, that you're on top of your kids. That seems hard and maybe not fair and maybe too strict, but it's not. Discipline at first seems difficult, but in the end brings peace. You are disciplining yourself and you're disciplining your children. One thing you really have to own is those clutter stops. A clutter stop is not decluttering. A clutter stop is stopping clutter by putting things away as they come out and are left out throughout the day. So stop yourself 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you're at home all day. If you're at work and you come home, breakfast when you come home and before bed. 3 times a day, look at the flat surfaces of your home. That's the floors, the tabletops, the couches, the counters. Look what has been left out. And then you have to own it. You have to say, you know what? I left this towel balled up on the countertop instead of hung up over the handle of the stove. I left my shoes in the middle of the room. I left my coffee cup on the table by the chair. So I'm going to get those things up because I have to own this. I have to be an example to everyone in this household. And I have to create a discipline in myself so that I can be peaceful and know that I am not making this clutter. But right now, the example you're setting is mother clutter, the most magnetic clutter there is. If you leave things out, everyone will leave things out. So own it. Also own the discipline that you have to expend on your children or exert on your children so that when you look, it's time to declutter, it's time to clutter stop rather, and you look in the living room and there's your little boy's shoes in the middle of the floor. And there's a bunch of toys over there, some Legos that no one's playing with. And somebody has pulled the throw off of the couch and laid it on the floor, and then some couch pillows are on the floor. And maybe there's a water bottle that you don't recall drinking out of. And so you have to say, hey kids, come here. Come here, we're not doing this anymore. I had some clutter, I've put it away. I want you to put your stuff away because these things all have a place to go. So, water bottle, whose is that? Mine. Okay, is it empty? Yes. Where does it go? Garbage, right. Go put it in the garbage and come right back. Whose shoes are these? They're his shoes. He can talk for himself. Whose shoes are these? They're my shoes, Mommy. Okay, where do they go? Where do they go, Tommy? In my closet? Correct. Go put your shoes in your closet. Don't sling them. Don't sling them. Place them in there. Okay, you're telling him, and he's running to the bedroom. Come right back. Okay, now you've got your little boy and your little girl there again, and you're saying, okay, who was laying on the couch and pulled the things on the floor? Tommy did it. You, Missy, be quiet. Each of you talk for yourself. Tommy, did you do that? Well, I think you did. So hand me the blanket. I'm going to fold it. And you put those pillows back on the couch where they go. And you fold it and you put it over the thing. From now on, try not to leave it on the floor, Tommy. Okay? Good boy. All right. And you go through everything like that. That's owning it. That's owning it. And then guess what else you have to do to own it? You have to get your little stuff up and walk to the bedroom and open Tommy's closet to see if he really did put his shoes in the closet or he threw them in the closet and one's on the shelf and one's stuck in his coat. Or are they both on the floor side by side where they're supposed to go? Or are they on his bed? See, you can't expect him to do something if you don't inspect. The same for your daughter. So you're going to go behind her too. Or your daughters or your sons or your daughters and sons. Okay? So today, you're going to start owning it, right? It's not easy to own it. You have to get up and walk around. You have to be strict. Strict does not mean firm but kind. Firm but kind. Being unkind would be saying unkind things to your children, like, you guys are the biggest mess I've ever seen. I can't even believe I had children like you. That's unkind. Kind is, you know what? We're all trying to make our house look nice so we can enjoy it. So let's go put your things away and then walking your little self behind them and saying, good job, or oops, that's not where it goes, right? Over and over and over and over again. And if you have 2 kids, it's not going to be forever because they're going to grow up and move away. If you have 12 kids, you've got this little group that's moved out, and this little group that's moved up, and this little group that's moving up, and this little group of babies, and you're going to always have to do it for a very long time. But you still have to do it. When you accept a child into this world and you're its mother, God has you that mother for a reason, to discipline your children so that when they grow up, they're not going to be a mess. And so while they're growing up, your house is full of peace instead of chaos. Okay? It's a blessing to be a parent. Own it. Own motherhood. It's a beautiful thing. Own homemaking. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? Inspecting what you expect is not just when you're doing clutter stops. Inspecting what you expect is everything. So if you've asked your children, hey, put the toys up, and you walk out of the room and go make dinner, don't think about it again, you failed. I love you, but you failed. You have not succeeded, and you are not owning it until you go back and say, Missy, come back here. What did I tell you to do with those toys? Okay, I understand Tommy played with them too, but I've asked you to put them up. I've got Tommy doing this over here. So put them up. Thank you. Good job. Thank you very much. We'll have dinner in a few minutes. Then you can go back and make dinner. Okay? And then I'm going to go with something else on the clutter stops. I talked to one of my clients. I love you, and you know who you are. And she said, okay, I've got clutter all over the countertop. She had taken her kids to school, and we were talking, and she said, there's clutter everywhere. I said, did you do a clutter stop? No. Okay, well, tell me what you've got, because we were just talking on the phone. Tell me what you've got there. And she's the one who had a balled up wet towel from her dishes laying on the counter. It was actually on her, I think it was on her, I don't know. Anyway, it was laying out there. And I said, what else is there? She said, a Barbie doll. Okay, what else? Some other toys. Okay, so we went through it. And I said, number 1, when your kids come to the breakfast table, if they eat at the counter or they eat at the table, and they bring a Barbie doll and they bring other stuff, you say, no toys at the table. Go put those back in the toy box. Or go put those back in your room or wherever you have them, stored. And then guess what you have to do? Inspect what you expect. Thank you. Good job. Let's go eat breakfast. No toys at the table. So you have to be on your toes all the time for your own clutter and for your kids' clutter. You have to own it. So today I want you to wash your brain of all the junk and say, you know what? I am the homemaker. I am the mom. I'm going to own this. I'm going to be firm but kind. I'm not going to be cruel or unkind to my children. I'm going to inspect what I expect. I'm going to make sure that I do it as well. Okay? So today's the day. You're going to put it in own it gear, and we're going to proceed. Have a wonderful day, and always remember to be beautiful, because you are beautiful.